Hi there, it's Bruce Millington, James Hill, David Jennings and Paddy Power's Frank Hickey. We're looking ahead to Sunday. Some fascinating action. 4 cards, each of which has got a really, really good feature race. We will start with the 205 at Punchestown. It's the John Durkan Memorial Chase. And when you hear Frank read out the betting, you'll realise what a hot heat it is.
Yeah, Jack Adam is 5-4, Size and John 11-8, Sub 10 at 7-1, at 12 Phil 20-1 along with James Hill, and Carney for Lock is the outsider of the field at 25-1.
David Jennings, what a race, eh? Sizing John against Jack Adam. Who are you going to go for?
Yeah, it's treacherous, though, Bruce. It's treacherous if you're getting involved from a punting perspective. I have been preaching for a long time that Jack Adam will win the 2017 King George. And I still think that, and I'm delighted to see my colleague Tom Siegel thinks that as well. 16-1 was a monstrous price. And I have a feeling now, I have nothing to go on here, but I have a sneaking suspicion, reading Willie's quotes and just from talking to people, that everything in the first half of the season has been aimed towards getting Jack Adam right for the King George. He's tailor-made for it, so I just don't know if he's going to be 100% right for this. And Willie has already said that he's not going to be as straight as he was in other seasons for this race. So I think Jack Adam will win the King George, but I think he might be beaten here. I think he might finish second. Sizing John is the obvious alternative. By the sounds of things, he's just come right in the last 2 weeks, and he did a spar. I was sitting beside the Harringtons at the HRI Awards the other day, and they were absolutely beaming with the piece of work he did last week. I think it was the first proper Gold Cup piece of work he did. It's the first time he showed anything like the form he showed in last year's Gold Cup. They were waxing lyrical about him. I think he'll probably win, but I think Jack Adam will win the King George.
And who do you think will win the John Durkan, James?
Well, that's a fair analysis from DJ. But we are looking at a horse who's won it for the last two seasons in Jack Adam. And I think I'd probably just narrowly side with him over Sizing John. I thought Tom Siegel made a very good case to him in the King George earlier in the week, just pointing out what an underrated horse he is. People knock him a lot because he keeps getting beaten in the Gold Cup, but to run well in the Gold Cup more than once, that's a tremendous effort. He's come close so many times. He's very consistent, tremendous jumper, travels well, and given that he's won the race the last 2 years, I think I've got to prefer him.
Yeah, well, I'd nearly agree with James. He's won the race the last 2 years. Now, Willie said he'll need the run and come on for it. He also said Duvan would run in the Tingle Creek, so he'll probably be 100% fit on that basis. But,
that was a blow.
I couldn't resist, DJ. I think, look, Jack Adam, 2.5 miles soft ground. I think he might just do Sizing John.
Okay. Yeah, right, lovely. 2:20 at Cork, the Kerry Group Hilly Way Chase. It's a Grade 2, and we've got an absolute top-notch horse heading the market, Frank. How do Paddy Power bet?
Yeah, Undasaw's 4-9, Ballyoshin 11-2, Top Gamble 8-1, Ball Dark, Durkan, Woodland Opera 16-1, and we're 33-1 bar.
Is it just look and learn, Frank, or is there a bet here?
It's probably look and learn. Undasaw will be hard to beat. Ballyoshin's a little bit interesting, getting £8, but at the same time, Undasaw 2 miles round Cork, heavy, probably be very heavy. Yeah, be very difficult to beat, I'd imagine.
What do you reckon, Jeno?
Yeah, I think it's very straightforward, Bruce. I just think at this stage of the season, when the ground is like this, he's almost unbeatable in this type of a race. He's a winter horse who does remarkably well, especially to win a Ryanair. But he does remarkably well to have won an Arkle and won a Ryanair on the ground that he's done that on is a remarkable feat, because he's a soft ground beast. And I think again a bit like Black Line at Aintree. I think this is just best to keep it simple. I think Undassaw will win.
Okay, and James?
Well, I mean, I do think Undasaw's been overrated through his career, but having said that, you can't knock his consistency, and he should have too much class for these. I'll say I'll give the weight away and beat them. Okay, really good race at Huntingdon. It's their big race of the year, of course, the 2:30, the Betfred Peterborough Chase, and Paddy Power's betting is as follows.
Top Notch is 5-4, God's Own 7-2, Petit Zig 6-1, Joss Hill 13-2, Sharbel 10-1, Kyle Morlock 12-1, and Sorry to Broogies 16-1.
Right, we've got to get through this without saying the obvious thing about Top Notch, because it's not relevant. James, you go first.
Right, okay. Well, I mean, I do think he's the likeliest winner in that he's good form at Ascot last time, won that well, he's progressive. This is exactly his type of trip and track. and the right trainer, Nicky Henderson. So what's not to like, really?
Well done, DJ.
How is this horse not 1-2? I think he's underrated. He's just in these type of races. He's just brilliant. Like, and yeah, I just can't see any way he should be odds against. So I expect him to go off odds on, and I expect him to win.
Frank.
I'd agree with David. I think Top Notch will shorten up a bit. He was brilliant at Ascot. You could crab the form a small bit, but look, last year his form was brilliant, bar Aintree when he was probably over the top. And like at this moment in time, he to me looks like the most likely Ryanair winner, not to mind the Peterborough Chase winner. I think he'll win.
Can I guess what you didn't want us to say, Bruce?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Go on.
That he's such a good jumper for such a small horse.
Exactly. It's the reference to small horse. I thought someone might say he's not the biggest horse in the world. But anyway, you didn't, so well done. Now, the other good race on Sunday is the 140 at Kelso. It's the Persimmon Homes Scottish Borders National. I don't think we've got betting yet, but it's an interesting heat. And James, to tell us who wins it?
Well, I mean, it's a very good race for older horses. I think 4 of the last 5 years it's gone to a horse age 11 or older. So I've got to go for an old favourite of mine, Scotswell. He might be a bit high in the handicap. I think he's off a mark of 119. But he's going to have £3 taken off him by Tom Dowson. Loves Kelso. So I think he's a solid each way bet.
Right. David, have you had a study up here?
No, Bruce, I haven't got a monkeys.
Okay, fair enough. And what about you, Frank?
I've literally had about a 10-second look at the race, but I'd see Christian Williams has James Bowen booked for Court Frontier. This horse, he likes to stay. He likes to stay in tests. James Bowen is probably up there with Don McInerney and Mitch Bastian as the 3 top claimers around at the moment. He's the really go-to guy. Christian Williams, he's a shrewd enough man. Landed a nice touch with limited reserve at Haydock there. Was it last week or the week before? I'm just taking a punt on this. I haven't had a proper look at the race, but that really caught my eye that James Bowen's booked for that, and this will stay. Whether it's good enough, I don't know, but it will stay.
Okay, and of course, Frank meant jockeys rather than trainers, but he's been so fantastic all through the broadcast that we will overlook that one. Chaps, give me one more horse on Sunday if you have one. James, you got another one?
Yes, at Huntingdon, Keeper Hill in the 125. Good novice hurdler last season. He's going over fences now. He actually beat Mezir de Zobo, very good horse of Alan King's, at this track last season. Looking like he needed a step up in trip that day, and he's getting it here. I think this is over 3 miles. If he can improve on his jumping from his recent runs, then I think he could take the beating.
DJ, who's your horse?
Up over 3 miles, Bruce. I might chance Bilko in the 305 at Punchestown. Liam McKenna takes off £7, and he's only a 6-year-old, and there's a few kind of has-beens in the race. And I just think he could be potentially well handicapped with Liam taking off £7. He's down to a mark of 122, and some of his form suggests he could be quite well handicapped. So I might take a chance on Bilko in the 305 at Punchestown.
And Frank, round off this broadcast in style with a winner.
That's the bumper at Punchestown on Sunday. Willie Mullins has won it 5 of the last 6 years. He's got one in this called Holographic. He was second in the Goff's Land Rover bumper at Punchestown, beaten a neck by Vision to Flow. That race worked out tremendously well. The likes of Early Doors finishing second in a grey one hurdle last again. Rapid Escape has won at least one bumper. Stax Mountain was placed in a maiden hurdle. Like, it's really worked out well. Caskmate was down the field, won a bumper. Apparently this is a really good horse, and I think that will win the bumper on Sunday.
It'd be 4s on by the sound of it, won't he, Frank?
Well, if I'm priced it, he won't be bigger than even money, that's for sure.
Jolly good, that's what we like to hear. James, what does the weekend hold?
So in the office tomorrow and off Sunday. I'm going to a carol concert on Sunday.
Carol concert?
Yeah.
Where? The local church?
It's a local church to my parents' place. So yeah, I've been there before. So
what's your favourite carol?
Got to be Silent Night, isn't it?
Silent Night, yeah,
nice and relaxing.
Jolly good. DJ, what's the weekend hold for you?
Working, Bruce. Working. Nothing too exciting to report, to be honest. I've no real... we might look at a few more wedding venues, but I think we've picked the one we want. So.
You need to make your mind up, mate. Are you going to have a
DJ
DJ or a band?
Oh, both.
Both? Really?
Oh, God, yeah.
DJ for the DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blimey.
Yeah, I won't be doing it myself.
You could call yourself DJ. Frank, what's your weekend hold?
I'm working tomorrow, and then Sunday it's the famous or infamous racing room bus tour around Meath, the pubs in Meath. This always works out to be a really good evening of sophisticated conversation and a tip or two.
Oh,
and
nice.
That was awesome.
So, yeah, basically we go to really kind of old man pubs drinking. So we leave at about 5 o'clock on Sunday and we finish up about 5 o'clock on Monday.
Does Brendan Duke still qualify for that, or is it once you're out, you're out?
I think he was invited last year. I assume he's invited this year. Whether he's going or not now, I don't know. I'll have to inquire. I'm not organised yet. But
Hold on. I'll ask him. Dukey.
Where is he?
Oh, he's not here yet. He's in usually for the other show here, but he's not in yet. Sorry.
That would have been a surprise. And is it one of those ones, Frank, where you have loads of rules, like you're not allowed to speak to the barman when you're ordering drinks and you've got to drink with your wrong hand, or do you just go out and go for it and get absolutely smashed?
Oh no, it's just go out and drink till you're full. That's about it.
Lovely stuff. Well done, chaps. Thank you very much. Well, Maddie is still swanning around Hong Kong, tweeting away, so I'm back in on Monday, so do join us for that. We'll look back on all the fantastic weekend action, and don't forget, if you enjoy the Postcast, do please go into iTunes, rate and review us.
Paddy Power are offering huge money-back specials for the whole of December. Head to paddypower.com now for more information on the selected races. Max £10 refund per customer. T's and C's apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.